Patrolling, they tryna catch me riding.
Tryna catch me riding dirty.
But me clean.
Riding dirty.
But me nice.
Riding dirty.
Holy Ghost up on me. Yay! Tryna catch me. Episode 8. Me and Celine on the road again. Listen, to my surprise, we really just talk about down a High Holborn Street? No, it's not literally a situation where there's nowhere else to go in Jamaica. But something is happening on this street and we have to find out how to go on. This one named City Life Ministry.
Okay.
And funny enough, the pastor is actually brothers with my pastor.
I'm kind of familiar with
you. Yeah, can you familiar with them? Listen, we gotta go down there because I believe that there's a unique thing happening with this particular ministry. We're gonna be talking to the Pastor Carrington Peter Morgan. He's actually the junior, though the second born son, he's the junior to the Bishop Morgan. He's been doing some great things downtown, and that's where we're going. Talk about unconventional spaces. We've been to warehouses, plaza churches. We've been on the street before, but this is a different way. To my surprise, we're driving, the first thing me see is a little football pitch. And I got excited and want to play, you know what I mean? And I wonder where the guys them there. But by this time, the sun too hot me, so them play early morning already. I'm like, why couldn't I just live nearby? To get that little morning sweat there. You know how me feel. Man, what play ball, you know me I talk about. This are the
Welcome
this are the
to
place.
the City Life Garage.
I know this place.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's how we know everywhere. This feel like home. One next home.
Welcome.
Who am I looking at here? Close Watson. Big up yourself, man.
Good day, sir.
What time is the game today?
Anytime you say.
Them play ball already, you know.
They play ball already for the morning. They
session.
come every morning.
Them have a morning session, them have an evening session.
You play in the morning too? That's why I gotta get rid of this. This will help me. But it's kind of far from me. How long has this been around? How long has this place been designated for?
Designated
like a church.
I would say about 12 years.
Yep.
12 years.
Yeah.
What was it before? Because I'm looking, it looked like a half roof. It was a garage.
It was a truck garage. In fact, the first time I came in here, I saw Pepsi trucks lined all of this, right, Cleo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, trucks. Mr. Samuels owned the place probably for another 20 years before that.
Yeah.
You know, and it was already a place that people gather.
So, we spoke to Pathelia Richards, who spoke to us about the children's ministry and the women's ministry. And of course, I must mention that Pathelia is my friend, me bonononos from long time. Pathelia Richards, my friend, educator, extraordinaire, administrator. So it's no surprise to me that you are the programs manager of the Women and Children's Ministry here at City Life Ministries.
Hi, Celine. What's up? Yes, it's quite an interesting turn of events, you know. When I came here, I was looking for something to do. I was saying, God, give me something to do to occupy my time. And a friend of mine came on a city walk, which you'll hear about. And she said, you want to come? And I was like, let me check it out. So I did my research, because I'm not stupid. And I was like, this is what I want to do. There were so many parts of City Life Ministry. That was what I was doing before. So it became a natural fusion. And my natural inclination, because I'm an educator, is towards the children. And naturally, the parents get involved. And I'm seeing more of the mommies. I see daddies too, but it just all came together so organically. Yeah. So I'm just very happy to be a part of it.
So when you heard City Walk, because to me that sounds like, you know, sounds like something different.
Walk up and down. Yes.
Definitely not coming in the inner city and being asked to serve.
Right.
But then that's what it was. So how did it impact you?
So I planned 1 year, study how he does it, go back to my church and tell him what to do. And after a year, the Lord had me thinking, you kind of want to stay. And then he told me, you need to stay for the long haul. And so here I am. City walks are kind of part of what I used to do before. Because my dad and I used to visit the old ladies in the community I'm from. and he would bless them with whatever he had at the time. And I'd just be walking behind him as a child. And then when I'd get home from college, I'd find myself stopping, and somewhere between the bus stop and my home, I'm talking to the shopkeeper. I'm doing all of these things. Exactly. Didn't know. So when it came together at City Life, I was like, okay, Lord, I'm in my calling.
Wow, wow. So tell me about the program here with the women and children, or is it just children that you're really focusing on?
Right now, we're focusing on the children. So we have a group of kids between a certain age called City Kids. And for them, it is whenever we're having a program geared based on their age. So we have the younger ones and we have the older ones, up to about 12, like about 6 or so. But you have those who will come who are younger than 6 because I can't miss out. I have to come too.
Yes.
And so we have these programs. Some of them are seasonal and some of them are one-time programs. A seasonal program for us is the City Kids Dream Keepers Camp every summer. So we've been doing it for 3 years now, but it feels like every summer, and I'm so vested in it that I have to take time off every August to be able to be a part of that. And then you have the one-time things. For example, a missionary group would come and they'd want to interact with the children. Good Life came and they did something with our kids the other weekend. And things like those happen. So you have the one-time, you have the long-term, and you have the repeated ones. One of the long-term or seasonal ones again would be a reading program we call Lit Lab. So we partner with somebody who loves reading.
No man, but on the sound like gonna do a holy
For the children, yes.
of the community.
Yes.
So I want to hear about the impact.
The impact, all right. It is as you walk by, Auntie Pat! Okay. When you're doing camp again, can we do camp for 2 weeks? Just yesterday, our child was saying to me, can we do camp for 2 weeks? And she started to tell me how our City Kids camp was going to go. And that's when I knew. And she started saying, okay, so no fighting, no this, no that. So all of the tenets and the policies and those are the big words, but just the little expectations we have for the children, they can tell you, so I'm not supposed to fight, I'm not supposed to, but I'm supposed to come early, I'm supposed to bring my friends. And they come with enthusiasm. And each time you impact them, you're like, so we were a part of that, God be praised.
This is living now.
Excuse me, that looks delicious. Where did you get that pizza?
Pizza, please. Best pizza in town.
Pizza Please, the widest variety of pizzas in Jamaica. Grab a slice or order a whole pie. Find us at 4 locations across Kingston and Ocho Rios and at pizzapleaseja.com. Pizza Please, Italian pizzas, Jamaican flavors.
Jamaica Post is committed to being your preferred logistics partner. Enjoy the convenience of 3 to 5 days for international shipments at competitive rates and next business day delivery for local packages. Take advantage of our fast, reliable and ever-evolving services. Zip Mail, Click and Ship, Fast Track, EMS, Parcel Service, Registered Mail, Corporate Mail Service and Private Letterbox. Access customer service support and track packages online. Visit our post offices island-wide and premium service centers at select locations. For more information, go to jamaicapost.gov.jm. Conditions apply.
Nobody go say shame on me cause I follow your way. I follow your way. Oh no no no. Oh I deny, can never lie. As you see me so I'm settled for life. He's so faithful to fail me. Anywhere you send me to, I go go. If you tell me make I stay, I go stay.
Spoke to Hopi, a really interesting lady who had so much to say about the ministry. She had been with them almost from inception and really, you know, an anchor for the community. When they see her, they know things happening. Miss Hopi, #1 community member, at least that's what I hear. True?
Yes, that is so true.
You have to tell me a story. So how did you come by knowing City Life?
For some reasons that my daughter, because she has disability, she gives problems, she's stubborn, so I had problems. So I think that she need prayers. So for some reasons I saw these persons used to walk around and I said one day that I'm going to stop them, that when the day that the Sunday that I see them, I call him and tell him, say, come here, and I ask him for pray for my daughter. Now they came in and there was a group of them and they did pray for her, and then from that they never stopped coming.
And you just get involved.
Yeah, from that time, just be a part of them where them always walk around the community. This is how them walk around and pray for persons and
yeah, and offer services. So how long you know Pastor?
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting thing is just how impactful the ministry is for people, their families, and people who are connected to the family. Well, number one community member. How exactly did you get that title?
I forgot to ask God that part. And maybe that part because I just keep it real with City Life, because you know them minister them do the wrong, them always being good, so you have to stay with good people because good follow good.
Then I had the opportunity of speaking to Close. Why you tell me your name? Because I like
my name is Close Watson.
Close, like the baller.
Yeah, footballer.
Star baller.
Star baller, German. My side.
Your side. All right, so I'm going to have to ask her. All right. Tell me, you're a community member. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So you come from
the community.
The community.
Parade Garden.
Yeah. And how you really get involved with City Life?
Well, it was a garage first, and them getting played by the person who was at the garage, hand it over to them. And I was there before them, so I was running a car wash over 17 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was there before them.
Not just a star name, but he really just had star ambition. He had his car wash and I believe a mechanic shop. And he also did the mural on the wall, leading us into the community center that they had built. So I'm going to ask you something now. Were you a Christian before?
No, I would say that. I was just doing the work of Christ, just like sharing the words and helping out other people with certain depression and certain issues.
Okay. No, well, so you were of that heart and of that mind.
Yeah.
But when City Life come in now,
yes,
even though they never take over your physical space,
yeah,
them take over your heart.
Probably not even my heart, you know, because I will push out them see it and accept it, you know. And as I say from my heart, we do it from my heart and we love it. Not because we don't do it for money and certain things, we do it from our heart because we love what we do.
Yes.
And we do it for the community. City Life help the community by helping the children, them teach them some how to read and have a football place where them can come in from other garrisons and come utilize.
From other garrisons?
Yeah, because other garrisons come play.
Okay.
So it's a open space for other garrisons to can come enjoy what is in the community. Where pastor,
the goodness,
yeah, what him said for the community.
Make my day. Early mornings get away. Floating clouds we can't escape. Let the light break on my face.
A part of the Holy Road is connecting with the community. And nothing ever nice like walking the streets with Pastor Morgan and of course John Mark Wigan talking and me in the background just getting to know everybody.
Legacy precedes you. History. All of your family in ministry, everybody knows what's happening, but you're a pastor, and I guess this interview, we get to use the term or the title pastor most appropriately for you because we're in your space, but it's very unconventional, right? You have been in this particular type of ministry for roughly 20 years or over 20 years, developing this community socially, economically. What inspired this whole thing? This City Life, what inspired this?
You left out one part.
Tell me.
Spiritually.
Spiritually?
Yes, because we actually came here because we saw a spiritual void. Right, so it was actually a spiritual move. Yes, my family is a church family forever, right? And I would say because my belly full of church, I was able then to step outside of the traditional church setting. Right, which is still very important, but let us say that God gave me that experience early on, Right, so for me to step outside of the regular walls of the church was just a matter of time.
But it's so funny that you said I miss out one thing. There's always so many churches in these communities.
Yeah.
What did the Lord tell you particularly that made you understood? You know, say, many churches, but there's a void still.
Right, so the void I saw was the expression of church outside of the sanctuary. Right, so our connection with the community is through relationship. Relationship started with one family, one group of young teenage boys.
Yeah.
That was probably about 26 years ago. Right. The ministry itself is 20 years. So there was a 6-year period where it was just pure relationships. Right. And I started walking through the community with that group. And the void that I saw was a connection or an expression of the church in the homes on the corner. Right. It's really the New Testament expression, you know.
Now there's a big board behind him. I thought it was like a big Ludi board or checkers game. I was like, because you know them fellowship and stuff like that. No, this is a plan. So though unconventional, though it seemed like it's just a street vibe, though it seemed like it's just, you know, loosey-goosey, no, it's organized, there is strategy, there is intentionality. I'm wondering, because it's community and vibes and everything, so I'm thinking you guys play games. I'm wondering if this behind me is like a board game I want to play. I've never seen a board game like this. Is that way you want to play checkers one way like this?
Not really, sort of, but not really.
So what am I looking at here?
What you're looking at here is our space, the community that we focus on. See, we're a little bit different, right? There are a lot of churches who focus on where they're located, focus on the sanctuary, build up the sanctuary, call people into the sanctuary, and send people out. We do it the opposite way around. Our focus is the community itself, right? So anytime we spend in here, we are reminded that this is our space. This is Southside here.
So this is the church then?
This is
the church you're building?
This is the space.
Space.
And the church is
You're intentional about that particular word, space.
All right, this is our space. And the church is the people who are interspersed in the space. Now this red
mark the spot.
This is where we are right now.
Right.
So this is, and I'm going to use the word only. This is only where we gather.
Okay.
Meaning this is not the focal point for City Life Ministries.
Okay.
This is a base. The focal point is the community. Because God has called us to transform a space, not just individuals. Right? God has called us to work through individuals to transform a space.
So on a day-to-day, you look at this and figure out where you need to go, where you need to focus on?
Right. So on a Sunday evening, we don't have a Sunday service, not every Sunday. Good. On a Sunday evening, we'll meet right here in the City Life Garage. We'll talk about what's happening in the community. We'll say a word of prayer, and we'll actually sketch out our route through the community.
So what's your route for today? Can we go on the road today and see what really happens?
It's pretty simple. We want to connect with one of our community members, Bummy.
Okay.
Bummy is up on Foster Lane, and so we'll go up Heilburn Street, we'll cut across left on Tower Street, and then we'll go up Foster Lane right to this point, right here. So on a Sunday, that's what we do. If we say there are 3 families or 3 places, we will sketch out our route, and that is our church service for a Sunday.
What happens here on High Holborn Street? That's their space, but all of the downtown community is very intentional about creating relationships.
Every day starts with care. Care that's always close. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is where you go for everything you need. From your morning routine to life's biggest moments. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is always by your side. Whether it's prescriptions or household essentials, trust the care that's close to home. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed.
Hop into action this Easter with a loan from Chris and Charles. Borrow $575,000 or more with payments starting at just $12,595. Whether you're renovating, consolidating debt, or investing in your future, we've got you covered with fast processing, unbeatable rates, and exceptional service. Better hurry. Just like Easter buns, this offer won't last. Call 876-926-0609 or visit chrisandcharles.com today. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
Pastor Peter Morgan specifically wants to label the place as a space, not just a church, a space, specifically and very intentional about it.
The difference between City Life Ministries, which is a community ministry, and a regular street ministry, is that we relate to a community. And the community has a name, it has a personality, it has a history, it has a way of doing things, right? It's a living organism. And so we don't just relate to individuals, we relate to a community itself.
The thing on a whole.
Right, to the entire community. So when you talk about impact, if I trouble a family, positive or negative, right here, right, there are repercussions going all the way across the community.
Wow. Would you say then it's a culture of its own that you would have had to learn and immerse yourself into in order to have positive impact?
So it's relationship. So over time, as with any relationship, it builds and it grows, right? And they take the time to get to know us.
Yes.
And we also take the time to get to know them.
So I would have looked at the profile and I saw that you do focus areas and clubs. Right. Is this one of the ways, this is one of the approaches to get in relationship with the people? Tell me something about these clubs.
Right. And so we have one main club, which is our kids club.
Okay.
Right. And again, similar to the church, the kids that call themselves a part of City Kids are interspersed all over the community. Yes, they gather sometimes in the garage, but it's not about the garage, right? When we bring them into the garage to get to know them, we actually follow some of them home, right? Okay. So the intention of connecting with the kids is to find out what's going on in their life. Could be positive, could be negative, right? But we then say, okay, what does your mother have to say about this? We'll follow you home. So it's almost a strategy, an uplifting strategy to get into the homes, get into the lives of the families and then the community itself, right? So there's something important about a home base, but it's more important to understand that God hasn't called us just to a building. He also hasn't called us just to fill up the building.
Wow.
It's the community itself that God has called us to transform. And we see that all the way through the Bible.
Wow. How do you change the space? How do you change their ground zero? And that's when I understood that the significance of the relationship in the lives of the youths, in the lives of the parents, and just the community on a whole, finding someone to lean on with spiritual, sound, biblical advice and nurturing and care, or actually care, is a big deal. What's impressive to me is that having to sit at the corporate tables to ensure that things are turning and happening so you can come back in the community and connect as a pastor keeps you just as busy, or maybe even busier than a pastor who is pastoring a regular church.
Absolutely.
Wow.
In fact, the strategy that God has called us to do, I'm going to say is actually the flip again. I call it the 90-10 ratio, right? Where usually, because I grew up in traditional church, right? And usually a traditional church would really spend most of the time on the experience that happens within the sanctuary.
Yes.
Good. Discipleship, even on off days.
Yes.
Right? So let's say they spend 90% of their time and their resources. Good. And then they spend another 10 to 15% on the mission field and evangelism. We actually do the opposite way around.
Wow.
Right?
10 for inside of what
exactly. Because
90 for out.
Truthfully, God has called us to gather 10% of the time. Right? The other 90% of the time, we're supposed to be focused on transforming a space.
It's true.
And I keep going back to the space, John Mark, because, you know, as much as we care about people, right, it's environments that affect and change you, right? So when people come into the sanctuary broken, right, lost, poor, in bondage, right, we pray for them right there at the altar, and then we send them out in the world that made them that way.
Back into that space.
Back into the space that made them that way. But that's not, so God has called the church to progress, to actually go into that space that has made them poor.
And change that
space.
space.
And the space that has put bondage on them, and the space that has made them illiterate. And to really attack those spaces and transform those spaces.
This walk never long before we hear, wanna come inside now? That's when I meet the homie.
When I do outside, you can't come inside, you know.
So we step up in at the gate to understand and we realize, listen, this is a space, this is like, this is like the spot, the chill spot, the vibe spot. Look at more we call it one church. But again, with the intentionality of space, a space that's created for change and impact, Bummy's Yard is one of them space things.
Yeah, calling for the carrot juice.
Yeah?
And the jupium juice
You have carrot juice and thing?
back and thing.
Hello, Auntie Bummy.
Hello.
Then when you get that good name there, it's like it's the next way for call you Mummy.
No, catch my love bump.
You love bump?
Yeah.
Effervescent in her energy and presence. What a beautiful woman. What a pillar in this community. We get to talk to her. Yes.
Yeah. So we have the product here, but I want to interject because it is more about the space that she creates. You know, her yard here is a main stop in the community.
Okay.
Right. So we come here, we fellowship.
Yeah.
We eat big food. It's not just sipping. We eat big food.
Wow.
Right?
No more time they meet local lobster.
Oh, what you say?
Okay.
And them things that are going on there, sir?
I them things that for one, like I don't know, so I need to get us slam.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Nice,
and
oh
the
my gosh.
curry and thing.
What?
You understand? We look at Irish tonight and...
At them something you going with?
Yeah. So you have to look out for you.
That's why they can't left your yard.
Nah, left none at all, because this a bummy yard.
A serious yard this. No little local thing go on, that's a serious meals and they fellowship together.
And one thing when pastor come to my house, I not got no lie. I feel good. If I never feel down, I feel good.
That means you walk with who?
I have a good spirit.
Oh my gosh.
And always praying for me.
Yes.
Bummy. A ball of vibes. I mean, really just a mother figure, you know? And somebody who takes everybody in, somebody who's obviously responsible for ensuring that everybody eat and drink, as we experienced. And it was just good vibes. Good vibes all around, good vibes.
Celine, where you there? But Kuya, where you get baby from? Where you find baby down here?
You just remember me?
It's who for baby this?
Sir.
You mind this baby fever, you know?
This is Miss Hope's
grandson.
grandson. Daniel.
All right. Celine, careful, you know? Your husband is watching this show.
Don't it?
Listen.
I'm a can't do another one.
Which one I do is the other one? They are a jump flow. Celine wanted.
All right.
So pour her a glass. You could see what I'm going.
Listen, people. A long time we know Pastor CP Morgan, you know. Yeah, man. And to see that his ministry is just blossoming and thriving, and to see that people understand what he's trying to bring to the streets, I love it. What stood out for me was how much love you felt and connection between the ministry itself and the people of the community. I think they're doing an awesome job down at City Life Ministries. And I'm gonna visit one of these days, walk the streets and connect with the community. You should too.
There's a truth to the intentionality of getting in relationship with the people of the community. Not just them coming to your service, but you going to their service. Oh my gosh. City Life is in service to this community. Auntie Bummy,
yeah.
Pray for we close. You can pray for we close, pray for we call it a day. Thank God for we.
Short and simple, thank you.
Short and simple, just thank God for
I give God thanks and praise, and I give God thanks for Pastor to bring in this set of people coming inside here.
Yes.
And I welcome them and I appreciate everything what Pastor done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen.